Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and schooner sippers, and welcome to The Struggle, a news talk show powered by illicit handshakes. I'm your host, Tavleen. Welcome. Tonight, we discuss airdropped sausages, horoscope discrimination, and fake spoilers. One Nation is embroiled in controversy once again, with party candidate Stuart Bonds coming under some serious media scrutiny in the past week, thanks to a video of him making some pretty derogatory comments. The video was taken down soon after the election was announced, but according to Channel 9, Bonds said in a clip that the only thing worse than a gay person with power is a woman. The 33-year-old who is running for the seat of Hunter in New South Wales said the comment was taken out of context. He claims the video was just a bit of a joke. I don't know about you, but I think Mr. Bonds should go into comedy if politics doesn't work out. Homophobia and misogyny, what classic gags. Mr. Bonds has admitted that his comments were probably in poor taste and said that anyone who is offended by his words can contact him for an apology. When asked about the controversy, leader of One Nation, Pauline Hanson, coincidentally a woman, replied, "No comment."
Turn my voice about.
Mr. Bonds also starred in another video questioning whether the Port Arthur massacre was a conspiracy. Oh, Stuart, maybe you should just stay away from YouTube. We now cross to Pauline's #1 fan for her opinion on the issue.
I was right all along. I was right. And none of you believes me. None of you. Our freedom of speech is jeopardized. Just because Stuart Bonds posted a video saying that women in power is worse than a gay in power. It's true. Think about that. I mean, what about periods? Obviously, I'm not referring to my queen Pauline. She doesn't get periods. And yeah, she made a no comment, but no comment can mean anything. And I mean anything. I mean, let's not be so narrow-minded about what no comment means. Okay? And look, Stuart Bonds is a loving family man, and he's also a hard-working coal miner and farmer. And you know what? It's just a joke. A joke. J-O-K-E. Joke. Why can't you let these snowflakes take a goddamn joke? And you know what? You can't stop me, Tavleen. I know what you've been doing every single episode. I know you can't stop me. You can't silence me. Open your eyes and open your mind. You do not understand me. This is real and this is the truth.
Pauline, I too have no comment for you. Sticking with the election, and it just wouldn't be one without handshakes. Aren't they iconic? From world leaders to sports stars and on the campaign trail. It seems everyone loves a bit of palm-to-palm contact. But according to HR expert Kate Palmer, the humble handshake could be under siege in the workplace, with employers becoming more conscious of what defines inappropriate contact. Ms. Palmer also suggested that this could also give rise to more black and white policies where all types of physical contact would be banned. This isn't a revolutionary concept though, because both Michelangelo and E.T., the extraterrestrial, predicted such a change. But obviously, not all industries will be affected because in some jobs, skin-to-skin contact is absolutely essential, especially when it comes to contact sport, Dancing with the Stars, and politics.
Which was great.
Hello, Napoleon. I hope you like us.
But unless an employer actually bans handshaking, the simple gesture is probably safe for now, which means Pauline can spend less time embracing hecklers and more time with one of the people she blames for putting her in jail.
Me too. Thank you.
Okay, good on you.
All right. Thanks
Pauline.
Tony.
But in light of the dubious nature of the handshake, we cross now to our HR correspondent Denise to give us some alternative greetings for our co-workers.
This is Denise reporting from right near the Struggle Studios, and I know what you're thinking. Where's Harmony? We loved her. Well, unfortunately, the Struggle wouldn't accept my resignation, so I'm back as HR manager. So fucking sick of it. Sexual harassment accusations are on the rise in the workplace, and it's all thanks to one thing: handshakes. Now, while this action may seem harmless, it's led to awkward silences, uncomfortable situations, and sexual harassment accusations against touchy-feely supervisors. So it's possible that handshakes will be banned from the workplace as a result of the no physical contact policy, which means it's up to us as responsible HR managers to show you the appropriate alternatives to physical contact. Give a high five, but only for a millisecond because it makes people feel uncomfortable. A pat on the back for a bit of encouragement. Good job.
What the fuck are you doing?
Blow a kiss because that doesn't imply anything. A friendly nudge to show your coworkers how much you appreciate them. Hey, 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 hey. Do footsies, but with consent. Okay, come on, come on. And finally, a good old hug, but not too tight because that's inappropriate.
Get off of me.
Thanks, Denise. What a thrill the HR world is at the moment. Right then, we are off to a short break. Welcome back. When we were younger, Disney had us all believing that being a princess was the ultimate goal for a girl. Turns out, though, that it's not all magical. Sure, Meghan Markle gets to wear tiaras and live in a castle, but there are also some pretty strict rules. She seems to be constantly breaking protocol, though. She claims to be a feminist, which could be considered having a political agenda. She frequently holds her prince's hand in unacceptable public displays of affection. And she's committing fashion crimes too. Apparently, the queen is an expert. She wore a tuxedo, which is man clothes. She wore a messy bun. May as well just wear your pajamas, Meghan. She dressed in all black, even though she wasn't going to a funeral or living in Melbourne. And she rudely confused the public, keeping both of her hands free by opting for a crossbody bag. How will they not know to touch you, Meghan? My God, get a clutch and a clue. Now there's a baby and shock, there are rules about baby names too. Some of the predicted names are Diana, Victoria, Alice, Elizabeth, Philip, Charles or Prince Albert. Maybe they should Google image search that one first. But if her reputation is anything to go by, Meghan will break these naming rules too. We now cross live to our influencer who has some suggestions.
Hi guys, thanks for watching my channel. Yes, Queen! Or should I say, yes, Duchess of Sussex. Okay, so we know Meghan chose Australia as the place to announce this baby. What could have been a better way to commemorate this special moment than to give their child an Australian name? We know you already had your own names picked out, but my followers had some super suggestions. If you wanted him to stay out of the public eye, you could have called him Harold, although you'd have to avoid beaches. We know you'll be travelling a lot. What about Chappelle? Might have to avoid drug trafficking though. We know Meghan didn't use the royal gyno, so she could have had surprise twins. If that happened, Meghan, no worries. We suggest Kath and Kim for girls, Hamish and Andy for boys. One of each, Tim and Tam. If you had have named this one Qantas, you could have named the second one Virgin. The problem is, if you happen to have a third, we do not recommend Jetstar. But you can always go back to the old reliables, Sharon or Barry. Oh, and Meghan, I know you're on Insta now, so follow for follow. And Tavleen, you haven't followed me back just yet? Just in case you forgot. You can do it now. Back to you.
Wishful thinking. Moving on now, and if you hadn't noticed, it's election time again. All parties are rolling out their campaigns, and for something different, the public might actually get to have a say on who the Prime Minister is. Australians go to the polls on May 18, and as we continue to weather this painful shitstorm, the best thing we can do is make sure we know what's going on. So far, we have had celebrities becoming politicians, and we have had candidates being forced to apologize because their memes were too edgy. And most brilliantly, we have watched as the Prime Minister ignored a sacred Aussie tradition, giving us one of the most awkward videos you'll ever see. How someone cannot drink during a ScoMo as a pisspot chant is completely beyond my understanding. But in case you weren't sure exactly how any of this actually works, we go now to Ian Silverspoon, our boomer correspondent, to do what they do best: mansplain.
Hi Tavleen, we're back. Back in the loving embrace of a long electoral ballot and the tender kiss of the sweet, sweet preferential voting system. Now, I've got a bit of undying guilt for leaving, you millennials here with a burning, rotting pit of a planet bound to explode at any moment. So, I'm going to help you out today. I know a few of you inexperienced voters might have a bit of issue with what's going on with the preferential system, but just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth anytime soon and vote for a lefty cuck like Bill Shorten, I'm going to help you out and explain just the best way to go about it. See, Australia has a preferential voting system, which means that when you get into the booth, you've got to number your preferences for each candidate one by one. It also means that it lets the smaller parties get a bit of a look in, so it's not just the two parties dominating every time.
Say you prefer Party A. Let's call them the Avocados for All Party. You number them first. Then, say you don't mind the policies of Party B. We can call them the McCafe Coffees Party, since they're not the best, but they'll do if you're desperate. You number them second. Finally, let's say you hate the last party. Let's say they're the Doing Actual Work Party. They're the worst thing you can possibly imagine. You number them last. Now, once everyone's voted, the Australian Electoral Commission counts up every person's primary vote. In this case, it was the Avocado Party. After all the votes are tallied, the AEC then removes the party with the lowest number of the primary votes and gives all of those votes to whoever those people preference second. So if it turns out, somehow, that most of your electorate suddenly doesn't want avocados for all, and they receive the least primary votes of any of the other candidates, they get eliminated from the race, Survivor style. But your vote doesn't disappear, it gets given to the second party, in this case the McCafe Party, and the whole thing gets counted again. This keeps going until a candidate gets enough votes to win the seat.
So Tavleen, well, you can't vote, but everyone else viewing at home, make sure you just do a little bit of research, figure out the parties that you like the most, and vote for them. Number them the right way. I mean, it doesn't matter who you vote for as long as you vote. As long as it's not the Greens, I guess, or the Labor Party, or any independents. Fuck it, just vote for whoever you want. Get out there, do your thing. Back to you, Tavleen.
Wow, Ian, thanks for that timely PSA. Now, before I say anything about this next segment, let me just say, we here at The Struggle are very kind people who absolutely abhor spoilers. This is a safe, spoiler-free zone. This past week has been of extreme importance, with both the Avengers Endgame and the Battle of Winterfell driving us all insane with the theories, speculations, and then the actual thing. The last of the Avengers and the most anticipated battle of all time had fans of both Avengers and Game of Thrones on edge for quite a while. Understandably, these die-hard fans had taken to using editing tools on teaser videos for that one glimpse. Now, while everyone knew people will die left and right for both these fan favorites, I mean, Tormund literally says it. It's the who goes first and how everyone is watching it for. But we cannot deny that evil exists in the world. In this case, they're the ones spoiling years and months of wait with one tweet or one Insta story. This tweet sums up being on Twitter this week nicely. And like any typical movie. To protect the fan damsels from spoilers came the knights in the shiny fake spoiler suits. Twitter pretty much was the battleground of spoilers, real and made up. Keeping a promise to you, we will not disclose these spoiler-infected social media posts, but we cross to our fangirl correspondent, who is one of the victims of the gruesome Twitter spoiler fest and has a vengeful message of her own.
Thanks, Tavleen. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been both the happiest and saddest person in the world, since two of the biggest franchises in like the history of humanity are finally coming to an end. And yes, that's right, I'm talking about none other than Game of Thrones and the Avengers. It has come to my attention, however, that some people, who are obviously never taught any manners, are sharing spoilers all over the internet and are ruining the experience for people like me, who have been waiting for 595 days, not that I've been counting, to see Brienne of Tarth get knighted and Arya Stark finally get it on with Gendry. And yes, I'm just as weirded out about that as you are. I mean, in my eyes, she's still a child that sometimes chops people up. Oh, how she's grown, my baby. I'm like more proud of her than the Hound. And oh my god, Theon, he's come such a long way. I mean, I cannot. Too bad he has no dick, because I think we all saw him and Sansa making goo-goo eyes at each other at the end of episode 2. Not that it matters now that, well, I won't be revealing any spoilers. I'm not about to do what I condemn, but come on, it's been nearly a week, and if you haven't watched the episode yet...
Shame! Shame! Shame, shame, shame!
But oh my god, what about the part when stabs and oh my god, Viserion, he comes out of nowhere and just dead everywhere, dead. And then Jon Snow stabs and then he punches and then Bran, he just does this thing. But I'm sorry, I got carried away. But see what I mean? I'm so invested in this. I live for this. And then people have the audacity to go and spoil things for me? No. Anyway, apparently people are battling this crisis all over Twitter by sharing fake spoilers. Not all heroes wear capes. See? That's what a true fan should be like. And honestly, don't try to tell me who's going to die. Everyone is going to die. The Night King, Cersei, and Thanos are all about to go on everyone. And honestly, they're coming for us all. You're going to die, and you're going to die. And you, camera girl, you're probably gonna die too. And you, watching this on your phone. Guess who's next?
Thanks, fangirl. Hey, I like her. At least she didn't kill me. Well then, we are due for another break. Back in a tick. Commercials are done. Welcome back to those of you on Channel 31. Your home is a sacred place and you're allowed to be picky about who you let into the sacred abode.
Stupid fight. But you're still moving in together, right? Because my ad came out today.
Wanted female roommate, non-smoker, non-ugly.
A renter in Portland, Oregon did just this. They turned down an applicant for being a Capricorn.
Yeah! LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron.
I mean, I get Capricorns can be annoying. The rejection post was like all good things shared on Twitter. The renter, after apologizing for not replying earlier, got straight to the point. They voiced their concern about the applicant being a Capricorn and said, while they love them, they can't live with them. The message read, our main goal is to keep things egalitarian without anyone being in charge or doming the household. The message went on to say how the house is either a Virgo or Gemini and is a special place where soft mutable signs get to run free untethered by cardinal authorities.
My insides are killing me.
Oh, ulcers?
No, movers.
I understand them. I mean, in all honesty, after what happened with me, I'm never dating a Gemini again. Sometimes the stars just don't align. We now cross over to our I'm a Millennial, Get Me Out of Here correspondent to find out which sun sign has been wreaking havoc in her life.
Hi, welcome back to I'm a Millennial, Get Me Out of Here. Now behind me we can see, I guess, the remains and leftovers of a creature that many of you are going to come across out there in the wild. That's right, I'm talking about housemates. Now, love them or hate them, you're going to have to learn to live with them. And that's why you want to make sure you get matched with the perfect housemate. That's why we're giving you some hot survival tips on how to find out who your perfect housemate is using zodiac signs. Yes, a totally reliable and scientific way on finding your perfect match for a housemate. Listen, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to live with a Capricorn. I mean, there's ambitious and then there's ambitious. But there's plenty of other star signs that I would recommend to stay away from. Take, for example, Scorpios. I mean, they have a reputation for a reason. Their ruling planet is Pluto. I think that explains itself, okay? But we also have Geminis. You know, we've got their symbol being the twins. You might think that, wow, one housemate, double the fun. No, wake up one morning, it's a completely different person. I don't need some sort of two-faced, toxic environment in my house where I am trying to live. No, thank you. Another one that you want to sort of avoid are Leos. Take this scenario, for example. You're having a housewarming party, your friends are over, you're expecting them to be hanging out with you, but instead they're hanging out with your cool Leo housemate. That's right, these guys are notorious attention seekers, always going to be the center of attention, and because they're a fire sign, just like fire, they draw you in with their heat, but you're only going to get burned. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's my tip for Leos. So these are just some of the many zodiac signs that you may not be compatible with. Have a look on Google, try and find out what you're more compatible with. Some people might get along with a Scorpio. We'll see what works out for you. But these have been my hot tips from Emily, your survivalist, from I'm a Millennial, Get Me Out of Here.
Lovely stuff, Emily. Scientifically accurate, as always. Now we move to animals. And can I tell you, they're sick and tired of being mistreated. While they've got a group of humans advocating against their plight, vegans alone can't conquer all types of creature cruelty. Lizards are the latest to be caught up in the live export saga, with the passenger allegedly caught trying to smuggle 19 of them out of Melbourne airport. While that may be shocking to some, that's nothing compared to Australia's elaborate program to eradicate 2 million feral cats by 2020 using a method of elimination known as an airdrop. No, not via Apple's sharing system, but instead by loading poison-laced sausages onto an aeroplane and dropping 50 foul snags per square kilometre around Western Australia. And to another case of animal injustice, this time in Brazil, with a parrot taken into custody after reportedly squawking the words "Mama, police" in Portuguese to warn his drug dealer owners of the imminent danger. Sick of such human superiority, some animals are trying to find ways to fight back against their oppressors. And while the news of a cassowary killing his owner in the US might seem a little too drastic, other animals are more selective in attacking only those who hurt others. But some are genuinely scared about the prospect of an animal revolt, with many on social media in Uruguay fearing the perfectly realistic possibility of a kangaroo invasion. Given Australia has 14 times more kangaroos than Uruguay has people, the South American nation is considering how it would combat such a scenario, or worse, what life would be like under supreme ruler Skippy. Well, we have bounced along to the end of another show. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share and discuss your plans to transport kangaroos to Uruguay in the comments below. And as always, the struggle, it's real.